Alright, what is up, beautiful people? So, I took yesterday on... Here, let me fix my audio. There you go. So I took a trade yesterday on September 17th, 2025. Today's the next morning. I didn't make a recap because I was on the charts for a little longer than I wanted. But here's a recap, and I'll show you guys, why I entered these trades as well, or what was going in my head. Okay, so let's mark opening. So this is opening candle here, and as you guys can see, going into today, we actually looked clean. Like, we looked very, very bullish. Okay, so just going in today, if you look at the 4 hours, Asia or New York did take all-time highs again right here with this wick. I think there was CPI or PPI, whatever. But we broke this old high, and just basic market structure. Right, we still broke this structure and we kept pushing up. So going today, I thought this would be a good draw because this was a data high, and it was all-time high, right? All-time high slash data high, and just scaling into the 15 minutes as well. Or the 5 minutes, sorry, right here. 5 minutes, we actually wicked through this 4-hour gap, and then we had bullish push moving in. Here, let's see if it's cleaner on the 1 minute. Yeah, it looks cleaner. So as you guys can see right over here, we created higher highs, higher lows, indicating that, okay, I'm still bullish even on the lower time frame. So let's see if we get any setups here. Coming into 8 p.m., we had this good shift over here as well. We had a little consolidation, and then we pushed up. So I was like, oh, okay, that looks really clean. But for me personally, since we are still in, you guys can see, a huge 4-hour gap, it has been filled, right? So you could say it's invalid, but we still have this bottom one as well that we're reacting off of, which have been filled as well, by the way. But looking here, we had bullish momentum coming into Asia up until the last 30-minute candle. So you guys can see at 8, we had actually a shift right over here. So we had a clear move, and then opening, we had a shift. Okay. So now, I was waiting just for a setup. Are we confirmed that this is going to go trend down, or are we going to keep pushing up, right? And why, again, why? Because on a higher time frame, the lower time frame, everything is bullish. Why am I now changing on my bias and narrative? Okay, let's take a look in the 15 minute. The 15 minutes, what do we have over here? We have a 15-minute gap, which, right? We have a 15-minute gap, and we broke this high as well. So now, if we respect this, in hindsight, okay, then I have clear targets. At the same time, guys, we have this 15 gap that we are reacting negatively off of, right? So now I'm in the middle. I don't really know what to do until we get a reaction, right? And up until this point right over here, what do? Is we created this where we failed to break the high. So that was one indication. And 2, we had a market structure shift, as you guys can see right over here. Right? Not 1, but we continuously broke 2. So now I have confirmation that, okay, this is leaning towards bearish movement. And I always say, when Asia opens at 8 p.m., whatever momentum you see is probably what's going to play out for the short term, or at least the first hour before Sydney opens, and then you can see what actually happens. And I followed my strategy, I followed my plan. Look at this, guys. Coming in the first 10-minute candle, we had a 100-point move on gold, right? And although the pre-market move was higher, this is open. This is where most, if not 80-90% of the traders were eyeing on. And I saw that they wanted to push the markets down. And what happens when we push the market down as well? Right, before we inverse the gap, we actually created a PD array, 5-minute gap here, with strong movement. And on the 5-minute or the 1-minute, you can see we are creating fair value gap. We made this, respected, made this, we broke the structure. Created this, we broke the structure again. So now I have indication, it's showing me that they want to go down, and we have big movements. Look at that. So I got my entry over here after the second break, just to confirm I wanted to see a little bit more price action before actually entering a short. So I set this up over here. And the point of this trade was, okay, we're gonna retrace into this fair value gap over here. Let me see, it's right over here. Yeah, we retrace into this fair value gap, right, and then we just dump. Okay. So usually I just did a 1-to-1 here, right? 'Cause just taking out internal 15-minute lows, because I did see that we had a shift in movement. Okay, but I said you could take this 15 minutes internal low if you want, but I just traded 1-to-1 with momentum, and look, we took a dub there. So that was the first trade. The second trade over here was clean as well. And why was it clean? You know, same narrative. It's still before Sydney, so before another potential move. But this time we broke this low. This, I think, was this a 1? Let me see if this was a 1 or not. 10 p.m. 15:06. Okay, so this was the low here. Okay, so yeah, so 15 minutes we broke this low as well. So you guys can see. Let me put it up a little higher. There you go. And again, just with my model, because we had a big move down again, right, as you guys can see, before we had a move down, we were wicking around the area. We continuously failed to break it, but then once we broke it, we had good momentum. I saw this, I took it. Now I actually did lose this trade because I got greedy. I really wanted to see us push into these lows right over here. So I didn't realize it hit 1-to-1. Okay, as you guys can see, look, it did hit 1-to-1, and we would have gotten filled. That was at least 3 ticks over. Yeah, that was completely my fault over here. And oh wait, sorry, right here, just 1 tick over if we do it 1-to-1. But no, I held it. I had high conviction that it was gonna hit. I didn't even put break even as well, so it just went straight to stop loss, and we lost. So still, for the day, I under risked here because I made money here, right? So I only risked my winners. I now had 0.5. Okay, so 0.5 today, I'm done. So what I did is I locked 2 accounts, and if I had another trading opportunity, I'll just take it on my combine or my eval. So what do we have over here? Sydney opens. Okay, Sydney opens. Boom. Now instead of Sydney continuing, I still believe that Sydney will continue Tokyo's plan, right? But this was a healthy continuation. Why? Because we actually had manipulation over here. I'll show you guys what I saw as well. In the 30 minutes, one Sydney open came up. Okay, where's the 9 p.m. candle? Right here. There you go. So Sydney opens. Let me just mark that out here. So if you guys scale out to the 30-minute, let's get rid of all the old trades here. What does Sydney do, guys? We have this 30-minute PD array in a line with 15 minutes. What does Sydney do? It pushes up, takes off all of the liquidity here. Anyone who traded here on the 15-minute gap completely stopped out. Okay, and you guys can see it, like it happens. Look, we waked up, and then what happens here? After that, we have a huge rejection move to the downside. So now to confirm my bias, we still failed to break these highs. Look, we still failed to break. There's no reason for us to even be bullish here unless these highs were broken. If Sydney broke these highs, for sure, yeah, there's a reason why we can look to push all-time highs now. But we failed to break the high. We respected and created a 30-minute PD array with a 50-minute PD array. What happens on the 1 minute? We create momentum. We created 2 bearish fair value gaps. Okay. Not only that, after we have this break over here, and I'll go use this as an example because this was our hour low. Okay, 1 hour low. So we had a 1 hour low, which we actually dumped. We had more movement in Sydney than Tokyo, about 160 in around 10 minutes. So now I see, okay, we have such huge bearish momentum that this would be another trading opportunity. What do? We break the first low. Okay, this one, there's not really any good setups here. I mean, you could argue this, but it was already mitigated, right? So I waited. We broke this low with a break here, and that was enough for me. This was a wick before, and we broke it with a candle close. So now, okay, we'll put our entry over here, just at the gap, and my stops. Again, my rules. If there's 2 fair value gaps, yes, I could do it here. Maybe got a better risk to reward, but just for my safety net, and it is a 1-to-1, I'll put it here, and we took the winner for today. And as you guys can see, I mean, this week pretty insane. We're pretty much up 3% on the combine, and yeah, man, it's crazy. But that's it for the trade recap. This was a little longer video, 11 minutes. And yeah, let's continue the momentum. I mean, now my win streak is over since we took this loss. But in terms of winning day win streak, it's still going on for September. Like, we're still looking really good. But yeah, you guys, peace up. You have a good day.